Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, and today we'll be brewing RP FILM Uta. That's right, red, purple, Uta. We've got a red one, we've got a green one, and OP06 introduces this last one that's fine. We'll say fine. I haven't seen it pop up in too many tournament winnings, but there's maybe hope for her yet. We'll see. I find her effect unique, but at any rate, this is a show before the show territory where I take a second to explain why I sound like this. Coming off of being sick for like 4.5 days now. A little bit better today, but I wanted to stream to say hi to you guys. I know last week was no content, bereft of content, except for 2 videos that are doing really well. I'm surprised. The Game in Chat shorts do better than the Game in Chat streams, that's for sure. But I wanted to cover a few more OP06 lists. Again, with the live streams we do here for One Piece, you can come at them with this anticipation or expectation, rather, that they will be of off-meta list, predominantly. Almost always something off-meta. But if there's a pre-recorded video, like our recent Perona video, it will be my take on a list that is something that you could play in a competitive setting, right? With notable exclusions, options for 2Ks, and of course the general strategy to the deck. During these live streams, well, Lord knows what we're up to. With Uta, it's really just going to be seeing if we can get her off the ground and working effectively, and coming at this with the perspective of competitive list in mind, right? But by no means is this RP FILM Uta list the only FILM Uta list you can play. This is just our variation on it today. If you happen to be attending for the live and want to participate in the deck build itself, feel free to comment in the comments section and add your 2 cents. If you play nothing but this Uta, amazing, great for you. We have the set coming out. I'm signed up for a bunch of pre-releases, but the set is coming out next month for us here stateside. So if you're also participating and happen to pull an AA leader for FILM Uta, congratulations. Hopefully we can build something out today that is useful for you. But on that note, I feel like we could probably start at this point. Hi, I'm Patrick Marlette, your local game guy. And of course, as I mentioned off the bat and is in the thumbnail, we have this little girl, this little lady here. So, FILM Uta, that's red purple OP06001 Uta, has 5,000 power. Probably could have given her 6,000 and she would have still just been okay. Actually, she probably just would have been better than Luffy at that point. But you may trash 1 film type card from your hand. And this is why I've been calling her FILM Uta this whole time. Not just because she's a film leader via subtype. She actually does care about a film package. Give up to one of your opponent's characters, negative 2,000 power, until end of turn. Sadly, not until the end of their turn. That would have been actually useful. Then add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested. So yes, it is ramp, but it's slow ramp. So the turn in which you do this when attacking, you're not going to be able to leverage that Dawn the same turn unless there's some sort of crazy shenanigan where we can, unrest Dawn as it hits the field. But so far as I know, that is not something that purple or red have at their disposal at this time. So the negative 2,000 power. The way to look at this card is to ask yourself, would you run an event in your deck that said 0 Dawn, negative 2,000 power to an opposing player's character, and add 1 Dawn as rested? Would you run that event in your deck? Well, if you would, then you'll like this leader. If that is of no interest to you, because you're like, what do red and purple, why do they care about negative that power? Well, I don't blame you. Red does care, and I think a majority of the cards that are going to leverage that negative 2,000 power are going to be within red. I think largely what we're looking at this for is decent ramp early game at the cost of a card from your hand, and tipping the power scale in our favor when it comes to attacking into a character on our opponent's side of the board. So I'm not really looking at this as a tool to leverage as a 1-2 punch with a KO effect, although we could do that, right? We could have plenty of characters that come into the battlefield on play and kill a thing that has X power under. That's certainly something we can do. So to start, I'm just going to throw it in here. I'm pretty sure there isn't a red a new red character that looks up film cards. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Then at the end, trash one of your film type characters. Character gains 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. Then at the end of this turn, trash one of your film type characters. It's a 2k counter playable character with a when attacking. That's kind of slow, but this is kind of good. I know there is a new bomb guild Tessero card that I'm not immediately seeing here, but we're going to want to play him in this list. I say bomb. It's relative. I think he's in purple. But the first thing I wanted to add was one that came from the film starter deck, that Shanks film starter deck that's back there that you probably can't see, but was trash. But if you want to build this list, then you're going to want some of the cards from it. Namely Buenafista. He is a 2k counter. You're trying to manipulate him rather for the search effect, but this is your searcher in film. So again, I don't know if there's a red one or I don't know if there's a new purple one, but we'll be looking over some cards. Also note that the version of Sim we're on now is including EBO1, which is the memorial set. If you haven't bought into it, I don't blame you. It's impossible to find, but it's including some of that. And there are the 3 brothers starter characters and leaders also available in this current version of the app. I want to keep it to just OP06, but because we'll be playing an OP06 game on the eastern side of this simulator, we're going to be playing against people that have access to EBO1. So if we see EBO1 cards that we want to include, we can include them. Okay. So that's really the first thing I want to do. Just, it's a film card. It finds film cards. There's a blocker Shiki that's really good as well, and we might want to incorporate that. I think because of Uta's nature that we need to discard cards to get the benefit of that ability, I think it makes sense to run someone like this Guild Tessero. This is something that has been popularized in film Daffy builds as well as the Uta blocker that you'll find here. She's very popular in that list, or at least was. I don't know what people are going to be using in OP06. I don't really see him in OP06, but I think we can incorporate them here as well. And again, they're film variants, so it's useful. This guild is great because the -2 Dawn, you would just use the one that you've added to the field rested with Uta, right? So we can look at this 2 ways. We're giving ourselves to help break parity on the negative Dawn effects. That is just an aspect of purple. Helps us break that parity by giving us the Dawn back, essentially. And in guild's case, not all of it, but half of it. Or we can look at this as just really good ramp for bigger plays late game. So, we might not even, play Guild Tessero when we have the opportunity, or rather, we use that -2 Dawn effect on him if we're able to, just to make sure that we can hit our Douglas Bullet. This is a bad example, but we're probably not on Douglas Bullet. The only thing Douglas is missing is Rush, but it is important to note you can use his ability. You don't have to attack with him to use his activate main. You can activate main -4 Dawn and still let other characters or your leader attack into the rested 6 or less characters. He's not a bad secret rare, but he's kind of a lackluster one when he came out. I don't think he's going to be used, but he could be. So far as these other film starter cards are concerned, I'm not too high on any of them. You'll see Ein here in RP Law list. I don't think it's necessary for this list because we're not negging Dawn that quickly. But I do want to go back and just look at Vinsmoke Reiju. I just want to look at her really quick. No, I want to look at our red cards to start. So, oh, you know what? I lied. Actually, I want to add that other guild. I know for a fact that there's a new guild that's quite good, and I will not rest until I find him. I don't know if he's in the main set or in a starter because oh, there he is. We're going to add the Shiki. The Shiki's amazing. I think that this is very useful in Purple Luffy, Red Purple Luffy. Any deck that can get there with its Dawn, this is really good card quality, right? So this isn't card advantage. You are having to discard a card, but the way in which this works is you get to see the card before you elect which one you discard. So it's a little bit better than, say, Sakazuki's effect, right, where you need to discard before you draw. It's also a 1k counter. It's quite good for that, especially in black purple pairings, which I think is just Z right now. It's quite good if you get your Gecko Morias in play, and if Gecko Moria is still a playable character by the time we get the set. I don't know. Apparently we're getting banned soon, so we'll see what happens to 8-cost Gecko Moria. The other card I want to talk about, though, the one that's probably most crucial, is Guild Tessero. So what's good about Guild is the fact that it's only -1 Dawn, and it's going to be the one you're adding in Rested. But on play, if your leader is film type, add 2 4 lower film type characters from your trash to your hand. Well, you're doing this the entirety of the game, likely. You can if you want to. But to offset some of that, the negative effects of that, you can put those cards back once you hit your... Well, really, you could be off play and only do this once, or you can be on play, turn 1 Dawn, turn 2 virtually 4 Dawn. You're going to get to this guild very quickly, but basically if it's in hand, you're ensuring that you're going to get all those things you're discarding back, if the things you're discarding to her effect are 4 and under. Or, right, like, we're disregarding her effect, Uta's effect, that is. Just counter power. Just having to counter out, like, shoot, I need to ditch my film Uta. Well, you can bring it back. You can bring it right back. This is quite good for the list. I don't know if every single card we run is film based, but there's obviously a reason for it to be film based. Anyway, that's the last card I want to add from purple before we go back down there. If there are any events or cards I miss, please just let me know. Events aren't too popular in the game right now, unless you're Hound Blazing. There's a handful of lists that want core events, but generally speaking, the card pool for events in list is a lot smaller than it was before, when it was just one set up to like OP03. Used to see a lot more events. And a lot more vanilla characters. I don't know if we're forced to use vanilla characters in this list, but we'll see. Hopefully not. I think the characters I would like to consider outside of the film package are characters that have rush. So I do think in this list, like a rush Luffy would be good. I think that a rush Zoro would be good, because the -2k power, again, it reads to me like, okay, you elected to attack me with that thing. I'm going to bring it down, play out one of my rushers, beat on that thing, and then gain advantage with my other film cards. So you'll notice I don't think there's any film rush cards, but that is sort of what makes red powerful in my opinion. All of the really good rushers, so if we can, I'd like to leverage those. And we could do with a few no-K counters. Right now, I think pretty much everything has counter power except for the starter 5 guild. Okay, so I want to just cover this early Uta. Can we just take inventory on how bad this Uta is? I want to use her because it was an early rare, but she's just not that good still. So on play, return up to 1 red character other than Uta with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. In my opinion, if this was designed today, I feel like they would have said return up to 1 film character with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to hand. And they probably should have given her counter power. Because when you look at this Uta and then you look at something comparable in the rare slot, like, I don't know, Rebecca, who's a 4 for 0 power, mind you, a 1k counter, lets you return a black card of 3 to 7 to your hand and then play a 3 or lower, it really makes this Uta look extremely bad. That isn't to say she's unplayable, she's meant to be an attacker, but boy, does she just miss the mark. I think that she's a little too narrow, and a lot of our good film cards are going to be in purple, sadly. Again, I haven't really looked over the film package for red, so it's still somewhat foreign territory to me. This is a new rusher, by the way, that we should definitely consider. I mean, it's maybe predominantly for the red-purple laws of the world, but I still think that there's probably a home for this in the list. We'll see. I have not seen this ESO, so we'll look at this. Attach up to 1 Rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. Okay. Landed 1 of Whitebeard. You lost me. You lost me right there. Okay, this Tony Chopper's pretty good. If we went with a split film straw hat package, right? If we wanted to go double searcher, again, this is not something we need to do. I think most of the film straw hats are green, but it's a blocker that also power reduces, and it's a 3/4 blocker with 1k counter power. This is actually a really good blocker for red. I feel like red's been lacking that good 3-cost blocker, and this is definitely one of the better ones because of its dual nature. I think for the most part it's probably going to be used as a blocker, but that power reduction is really good. The 2x Dawn's kind of demanding, and it's not like we're playing Dragon, we're not able to manipulate our Dawn as well with this list, but something to consider. I'm not going to add it yet. We also should think about 2Ks outside of Buena Fiesta, right? Because again, we really want him for the search aspect, although we can very easily recover him with this guild. Otama is usually a good include. Again, I don't know how many effects we're going to use that care about the power of a character and KOing said character, but Otama is sort of core to that package if we are running any of those 2-for-1s. Gonna add the Zoro I mentioned earlier. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add the choppers because I really like them, but what we'll do at the end of this, you can't see the total number, but we have 33 cards in the deck right now. We'll cut down to 51 with leader. Okay, none of these are necessary or good. It's never really a moment where I want to use secret rare Shanks, sadly. I feel like the when attacking effect is just not good enough. But we did get a new Shanks that is good, and we might incorporate him. It'd be great if he's film. It would be so good if he's film. I have no idea, though. Let's just cut to the new cards. This Bart wouldn't be bad. This Bart wouldn't be horrible because of Uta's ability, but it's also trigger playable off mixed color, but a 2-for-2 is kind of weak. It's really nice in the list Bello Betty, but here it feels just okay. To me. If you use it, please let me know. I need to know your secrets. There's a couple of these that are decent. The Inazumas. Like this Inazuma is not so bad. Again, it's another rusher that we could potentially use, but I think I would rather keep it within a singular tribe, and I'm thinking that tribe should be Straw Hat if we go that route. Lily Carnation, she should be easy to spot. You may trash one of your characters with 6,000 power or more. Play up to one film type character with a power of 2,000 to 5,000 from your trash rested. Activate main 0 body. Well, the fact that you have to trash a card to do this and you're not even getting a good card, nah, that's pretty weak. 2-for-3, I mean, I get the idea, right? But this combo of Baron and Lily is requiring a lot of the player. It's requiring that you have both of these. You start with 5 cards in your hand. It's requiring that you both have both of these things and that you don't mind trashing like half your hand, nearly half your hand to make this combo work, right? Because you're going to trash it off her and then you're going to trash something here and then get something back that's weaker ultimately. That feels so bad. This song is interesting though, as another searchable 2K. I actually quite like this. I think that might be the only reason why we run it. But again, we were reading it earlier and 1 Dawn, so you're going to swing with 6k minimally to get the on attack. Gain 1,000 power until starting your next turn, then at the end of your turn, trash 1 film type characters. God, that feels awful. I really do think it's just there for the 2k. But they mean trash from your field. So if you have something that says on KO, obviously it'll skirt past that, so that's not good. It is a film card. Okay, so we are ramping in this list, so we should be able to get to Shanks fairly quickly. But on play, kept one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power or less. So conceptually here, did I say 2,000? 10,000. Conceptually here, The biggest thing in the game right now is 10 for 12k. I don't think there's anything bigger. So Shanks with Uta let you break down their biggest things. I'm going to want more blockers if I am hoping to get to that stage and make that a viable play. Also, I'll definitely want to have more combo plays available to me, because there's a lot of decks that are able to rebuild very easily, especially mid to late game, namely, you know, the Sakazukis of the world. But still not a bad option for us. And this other blocker. So this blocker is something that I want to add in Red Purple Law, and maybe here. It's a good 1k counter. It's something to recover with Gil Tessero, but moreover, its power matches that of the opponent's leader. So this character's base power becomes the same as the power of your opponent's leader until the start of your next turn. So this is when it's attacking or when it's blocking. What's important to note is that it generally is going to be 5k, or it could be 6k, or if there's any sort of added, it's his base power. So any sort of added bonus will not help this, but if someone's attacking into you, you can elect to block and match power with the leader. So if they forget that, good on you. Hopefully they're smart enough to play around that. I do think that this is maybe a good enough card for us, so we'll try that out. You may rest one of your Utas. This character gains 5,000 power this turn? That is absurd. You may rest one of your Utas to do this? If only we had the green blocker Uta that lets us restand. I think that that's okay. I don't know if we need to ram someone for... This is such a weird card. It's very awkward because it doesn't really work well with Lily Carnation. What does it work well with? It doesn't work well with our Gil Tessero. I don't really like you, my guy. I want to like this, but it's only this turn? No, that's not good. If your leader's film, this character gains blocker. A 6 for 7 blocker. 6 for 7 blocker with no real effects, but counter power. Again, it doesn't fall within the range of recoverability, which is fine. I think that, you know, I don't want to put too much weight in on this one character. Yeah, I'm okay on that. 5 for 6. If your opponent has a leader with a base power of 6,000 or higher, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. Okay, well, Bear King's good against very specific decks. Not too worried about that. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck reveal. Okay, never mind. We did get a Film Searcher. Do we run this one? Activate this character's unplayability. That's it? Okay. Sure. We run this Luffy. Why not? It's a Straw Hat. So maybe we do that Straw Hat split I was talking about. You may discard any film type character from your hand. For each card discarded this way, give your leader or characters 1,000 power for this battle. You're really asking me to have I'm Invincible in a deck that doesn't have green. I don't know about Ratchet. I think I'm good on Ratchet. And Raise Max is cool, but I mean, we're trying to leverage our leader for that mostly. I think we're good on that. Okay, we got Jellyfish Pirates we can roll with. We do have Film Kobe, by the way. I actually do like this card. I don't know if this deck really, like I was saying, like if we want to get to the late stages of the game, trigger blockers are actually a valid option. We don't have too many no-K counters as well. Like I've mentioned, I think it's just Zoro. I think it's just Zoro and just Shanks for now. So legitimately, we could use Film Kobe. Been meaning to buy copies of him. We'll leave that there for now. See how it rolls. There's a couple of film promo cards. I love this law, specifically in RP law. Oh, sorry. The sword. I just learned how to play it. It looks like a lot of fun. Hopefully you learned how to play from the video here on the channel. If you did, let me know. I'd be curious to find out. That one was definitely a grower, not a shower. But I'm happy that the how-to video on this game for local game group is doing well. But no, I'm happy for you, man. There's a new set coming out. Hopefully you got into one of the pre-releases and have a good time with it. I'm actually attending Star Wars Unlimited pre-release this weekend, so I'm pretty stoked for that. If I enjoyed my experience, you can expect me to talk about it on the show, but not until then. Okay. So there are cards like this 4 for 6 Monkey D. Luffy that would be a good vanilla to play on curve, provided we do go, again, that film Straw Hat route. And I don't hate that idea. Sabo is just okay for us. I do think we could potentially run, because we're ramping pretty hard here. I don't mind the Sanji. I know it's a 6 for 6. Like that's hardly good, but it is a rusher. Luffy's ability is what makes him so good, though. Okay, I'll do Luffy. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put 1 3-cost animal into play. Okay, that's not bad. Which is, namely, at least for this list, it's namely Chopper. I don't think we have any other animals in this list. There's going to be at least one decent red event, I think, from the film package with this upcoming set. Get up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power or less. So it's a little bit weaker version of Jet Pistol. If you guys don't know Jet Pistol, it's a 4 for a 6. You can kill a 6k power character. See if I can find it for you. There it is. In the what's more department, and why I like this card better than the one we just read, is the fact that it's activate main off of trigger. So you'll still kill a 6k or less, regardless. And honestly, in this game right now, 6k is still kind of the magic number. Like the best blockers are within that range, and a lot of meaningful kills are within that range. But there's a lot of meaningful KOs at 5k as well. I do think that the KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less is definitely a lot weaker, though. That trigger is not meaningful to me. But what's important is that it is Straw Hat and film, so it is double searchable if we decide to go that route. So not garbage. Let's go. Let's try it. Because obviously with this list, this could just be the film card we trash to do Uta's effect as well. But if it's not, then we can kill 7,000 or less, which there's plenty of decent targets for as well. Diablo Jam is also a decent card to consider if we're looking to get a win in late game. It's probably one of the only other events that I would want to consider using from Red right now. But let's just take a gander at any other film cards we might have missed. I don't think there's very many up to Shiki, really, from, I think set 2 is where Shiki comes into play. He's right here. OP0675 Shiki. I would never suggest you use this trigger, play him. I think that's just too weak of a body to be concerned with to reduce your ramp. But it is a searchable 2k. The only question is it better than what we're already using? Probably not. I think we're going to stick with, I think we'll stick with 8 2k counters. I normally like to go higher, but we have a lot of blockers and a lot of 1k counters. So I'm feeling pretty satisfied where we're at. I'm also, because I'm kind of committed on this route to do the double searcher bit, I think I will actually go with Nami here. We got 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Wow, we've got a lot of searchers. It's actually quite nice. And Guild only pulls back film cards, right? Okay. Yeah, we've got a lot of mid-range and then just top end with Shanks. We don't have a lot of KO, though. So we need to fix that. I think we need to fix that. Let's see if we can find any good ones. I really want to focus on KO and red just because, again, the nature of purple's KO. Plus, purple's KO doesn't really care about power at all. So, again, like, even Gem here kind of illustrates what they're looking at. They're looking at level as well. If you have 8 or more Dawn on the field, this character gains Rush. I do like this rusher for Inosuke. The only issue with him is the fact that he's 5. So that is quite a high commitment to get a rusher onto the battlefield, but it's not a bad one. At the 2K slot, do I like it better than Saga? We've got searchable. I guess that's probably the more important question. We kind of want something that I can hit off of Nami as well. So if there's a film Straw Hat 2K, feel free to holler. I think not, but I don't know with certainty, so I need to look into that. I think, you know, there's probably just a case to be made to run 5-cost Queen and this ulti package with page 1, but I don't really want to run that. I feel like Purple's been running that since the early days, and I'm kind of over it. I want to work on a package that's just a little different with this Uta if we can. Okay, so let's go back and see if we can find a 2K Straw Hat film card. I wish there was a more clearly defined way of searching on OPTCG Sim, but there's not. So let's do, I think it's just Usopp and Sanji from OP01 that are Straw Hat minimally. We'll find one, guys. So, and if not, then we'll want to incorporate a 2K that's searchable off of our Nami, right? We want both of our searchers to hit. Also, it just adds to our Straw Hat threshold, which is not a bad thing. No. Is this promo? I know there's that promo 2K Luffy. He's Supernova. Okay. So one of the popular things to incorporate, and I don't know if I agree with the logic or not, but people like to incorporate the OP01 Sanji we looked at that lets you add a life to hand. It's good in yellow matchups, yes, but it is kind of a high ask. It does get very powerful though when you do that, so I don't know, there's that. Give it to one of your opponent's characters 2,000 power. Negative 2,000 power for that. That's not so bad, Jinbei. You're not so bad, starter Jinbei. I think I own you. I own you. There's also Brooke. Give it the 2 Rested Dawn to one of your leaders or characters. This is actually quite good with the ramp aspect of Uta. Huh. Man, I don't really hate this Brooke. We can incorporate that because we don't have to. We can leverage Rested Dawn that we add this way as well. Obviously, you'll add the Rested Dawn that you've tapped to produce this Brooke, but I don't think there's another way we can sheet him onto the battlefield. Regardless, he's not so bad. Of the 2Ks I'm looking at, and we should be at this point of the game looking for playable 2Ks. I think I like that best. I mean, I certainly like it better than Saga, but I can see where Saga is actually like, I don't know, a decent attacker. No, I don't think there's really a better 2K for us. I want to look over to some KO effects for us as well within the Straw Hat film package, namely in red, that are non-events. Like, we need a Vista for this list is what we really need. Maybe we roll with the Sanji. So you may add 1 card to your life, gains 2,000 power, then give it 2 Rested Dawn. It's not bad. No, it's not bad. We'll do this instead of Brooke. I'll just run the 4 to make life easier. Get the whole gang here. Nearly the whole gang. Okay, so many Luffys. More Luffys than I normally run. Alright, so, KO effects. You know what's funny? Like, does the Sabo become playable for us? Not really. We don't have that much power reduction. Again, I think power reduction in this deck is really just going to be for a few one-off exchanges. I kind of want to get rid of this Buena Fiesta. I almost would rather just like rely on this Luffy and then have a better 2K in the list. because a 1 for 0 is kind of shite, people. Not gonna lie to you. Yeah, so far as like KO effects are concerned, there's really nothing. Like our KO effects are really going to be our rushers, which is not a good place to be, but we're gonna try with them. Makes me dig the amount of blockers we have even more, though, I'm gonna have to say. Okay. Before we commit to this Buena Fiesta, I just want to see if there's a better 2K we could be rolling with that's within that film package. Again, we saw that Shiki earlier. He's not great. No, I really do think it's just going to come down to him. Okay, so far as removal is concerned in this list, it's really just Shanks, and it's really just Azure Dragon Stamp Flowing Water. Did I say that right? Okay. It's really just those two things. I like this Uta, so I want to keep her. I like this guild a lot. I like this guild a lot. My issue with this guild is the fact that you have to attack with him, which is not always the case. More oftentimes than not, he'll be dead before you can actually get to attacking with him. And sadly, our guild doesn't recover this card. So we're really just kind of crossing our fingers when we play this guild Tessero. Is that enough for me to want to incorporate him? Probably still yes, but maybe a reduced count. We'll run 2 of him. We have to cut 8 more cards before we have a total deck here. I think we can cut the Kobe's. I want to keep a high enough threshold of film characters, so we're going to keep these. We need at least 8 2K counters, so I don't want to lose any more of these. The Luffy's are kind of crucial for us. Again, the rushers are kind of crucial for us on that note as well. I like this chopper. I don't like it that much. We can do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 23 film cards. We need to cut 5 more cards. When we're looking at this, I think that these are both kind of doing the same thing, but Chopper is technically doing it better. Bearing in mind, you do need to dawn him up, but once you attack, like, you can level reduce the thing you're attacking, so it is really good on that front. I feel like we can get rid of this Shureya, and maybe up our chopper count again. Up our chopper count, and then cut 2 more things. So at this point, I would like to cut maybe a Zoro and a Luffy. Maybe this Luffy instead, actually. So the balance here is we've got a lot of blockers, right? So we've got 4, 8, 10 blockers, which is a lot more than I normally run, but I feel like this is going to be a slower list, so I kind of want to see the late stages of this game with this list if we can. So building that out, we definitely need as much film as possible. So this is 2, 6, 10, 14, 18. I'm sorry, we have way more blockers with this Uta. We probably cut a handful of these Utas as well. But we got a fair amount of film cards and a fair amount of Straw Hat cards. So I think this is a decent place to start. I'm going to copy and save this so that you guys could check it out as well. So it should be in the description for you guys if you wanted to see the full list. Well, okay. On that note, probably time to test this monstrosity. We'll see if it's any good. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so before we do that though, I'm gonna add this little QR code to the screen. It's just gonna cover up my opponent's name. Don't want to embarrass the person we're playing against, okay? But the whole goal here is when we do these live stream deck techs to give you guys an impression of how the list can perform in a certain build. So today we're doing Straw Hat Film. I don't think that's necessarily to say the best route you could go with this. I do think that it's probably better to lean more towards the purple cards that are just very good, like Queen, like the 2K ulti, like that page 1 package, sort of laying down a board quickly, going to beat Street with that. I feel like it probably plays better in tandem with her ability as well. But regardless, this is the route we took because I found it to be the most interesting route. So on that note, hopefully it is okay enough to at least win a game today. We're going to sample this list at least 2 to 3 times, and then we'll call it quits on Uta, put this one to bed, say we did it, and just be satisfied with that. Here, let me move that QR code, though. Actually, oh, God. Okay, well, you get to see this person's name, I guess. Are they going to stay? Are they going to play? So maybe if I don't... Here, I'll go second. This is okay. I'll keep this. Can we beat Katakuri? No. Hopeful. So the reason this Sanji's good is that you can sort of pressure the, pressure down the Gadatsus. I don't think I want to play this Sanji right now. I will play this Nami though. Oh yes. We can grab one of our choppers here, honestly, or one of our Luffys. I like either. I kind of like the Zoro into the Luffy play option, though, a little bit better. But that's just how it is. I think we're going to do that. Activate our main? Can't yet. I wish it was activate main and not when attacking. I feel like for being a dual-colored leader, her ability is kind of inflexible. We'll take this. Cross my fingers that I hit the other... No, actually, no. We just saw the other Kobe. There are no more Kobes to be found in life. Okay, so we've got options here. I do think that this is very much a Zoro turn. We'll start with the Zoro. Do you think they're holding that 2 Dawn open for a reason? Well, yes, we can ramp here, but no, it doesn't make sense. Give us a better reason to ramp first. Probably kill the Zoro, right? Okay. So Yellow doesn't have very many great ways to kill things, and it doesn't run too much rush by way of rush. So I do feel safe, like, keeping this alive, honestly. Because at least we can get one more attack out of it. Maybe pressure their hand down just a little bit more. Let's see what they play, though. This could just be something that crushes me. Pick no cards. Pooh. The Holy was in your hand, though. No? The Holy wasn't in your hand, guys. This might be our game. I'm feeling good about this one now. All right. There aren't enough film cards in my trash to rub together yet, so we're not too worried about that. We do have a film Kobe to play out, though, and that will give us something to recover with this Guild Tessero. So I do think we play out the film Kobe, and we just play another Rush Zoro, and then we call it a day there. But let's attack here. That was bad. That was really bad for them. They need those combo plays with the Holy package. That's okay. No, we're not going to use him yet. We're not going to use Uta yet. Oh, look at you with the Shura. Oh, you have the 2K counter in hand. Duly noted, duly noted. You really do need to rush Yellow down. Katakuri in particular. Like, it's not as important with, say, your Enel list. Because Enel is... You need a certain threshold of characters to break them down and kill them on the same turn. It's 3 hits, right? 3 is the magic number. But with Katakuri, you just want to stave off the 7-cost Linlin, 8-cost Katakuri, 10-drop Big Mom turns. Like, those plays are very, very tedious to deal with. We're going to let one of these Zoros die, but I'm not sure it's this Zoro. So what I want to do is pressure them to have to dawn up the Shura or attack with a Katakuri. So I'm honestly fine. Like, the Kobe is really here to protect my board, more or less. We can technically counter out of this, right? And maybe that makes sense for us. genuinely. Because guild doesn't really do too much for us here, and I could just see us donning the crap out of our turn. Screw it. Let's go. I'm just interested in the rushers here. Maybe they play a Gadatsu and kill one. That'd be cool for them. It's a 5 for 6k kill based off my life, right? So I really, you know, this is where you need to use that Sanji. But it's whatever. Like, if that's their best play now, then cool for them. Yeah, kind of expected that. Kind of expected that. That's okay, though. Okay, so we've got red-haired Shanks right over here. And we've got a lot of attack potential. So I think the first thing we do is just swing Nami into the Shura. Okay, very, very easy for them. Let's go Zoro into lead. Okay. We've got the potential to just knock out this which isn't so bad for us. Let's try to knock out the So, oh, I forgot. It's 2 or less life. I thought it was 1 or less. They can do a 2k. It's fine. I should have went 8 over, is what this informs me of, but it's fine. Whatever. All right, we could technically use Azure here as well to cover our fuck up, but that's okay. Do I? No, I can't even use that anymore, can I? No. Okay. Man, I really thought that was 1 or less life. Is better than I thought. Damn. I think we just play the Luffy. I know this feels weird, but I play the Luffy and pass. We definitely fucked there. Definitely fucked. But that's okay. We'll bounce back. Yeah, I really thought I was doing a 2 for 1 there. I would have used the leftover Dawn for that, but the Luffy's there to mark my mistake. So they could have like a reject, I guess. Like that could be the answer for my Luffy. This should go towards Zoro, likely. There's no reason they should go for my life quite yet. I just want this as a film card to trash, potentially, to work with Shanks in a second. You got me. There you go. Get some life back. Look at us. What's nice is that Shanks is just going to crush the shit out of this guy. So let's see here. This guild should stick in this matchup, but I don't think now is the time to run the guild out, sadly. I do think now is the time to break down this So basically, we can try to just go vanilla against the No, we can't. Never mind. He still had 2 life. No. Let's just do attack on life. We won't. So we could have just ditched the Azure to bring this down, but it would have still been 4k. So they still would have been able to use a 2k counter, which they clearly had in hand. We will Shanks this Katakuri, though, and cross our fingers. Obviously, we want to hit a better target than that. Like, if they have a 10 cost Big Mom, then this feels really bad, because we're at a disadvantage. They'll have 3 life. We need to get 4 hits in minimally. Our rusher is trapped in our life. It's whatever. But we're only letting them have us as an option right now, and I definitely want the card draw. So, 10 cost Big Mom, let's go. Only the most obvious plays. Only the most obvious plays. All right, so we've got a lot of options coming their way. We sadly haven't really hit many searchers and haven't been able to hit another Shanks. We kind of want that at this end state, is what I'm feeling, but we got a shit ton of blockers. So let's see here. We can kind of ignore the if Uta survives. I do think that it makes a whole lot of sense, though, for us to just try to crush this and get some blockers down. I would prefer to crush the just by attacking into it. So if we went 6 into this and reduced it to 4k and made it a 2 for 1, that's not awful, right? And that leaves us with 9 Dawn remaining. That's not great, though. Let's do this instead. We can ditch the guild and play the 2 blockers. We can't use Azure on this because it's 6k power right now. This is where Jet Pistol would have been way better. Yes, we can use Shanks to just hit him, but it's not useful. All right, we do need to get rid of the though, so I think the best option is to, let's just try to leave 7 open for us. So we do, man, I would really love to just kill this with this though. So maybe we ditch the guild. We ditch the guild and then we kill it with the Azure Dragon Stomp. That feels like shit. No. So the play I was planning is this. I think we just do this. And then we use the card action to trash this. And do that. Why did it say it was 5k? That was a mistake, by the way. That's weird. So we'll hit this. Okay. Any trigger playables? Cool. Thank God all those blockers were in life, by the way. That was useful. This chopper's gonna be really clutch in a second. I would have loved to drop the guilds there. That would have been the time to play guilds, but we're definitely on the back foot here. We've got a lot of damage coming to foreseeably life in a second, right? So we're going to get a rush attacker as well. So provided we have at least the Uta, the Shanks in the Uta to attack, we could be okay. But we've been on the back foot pretty much this whole game. This is very much an uphill battle. Their Amuro doesn't tap things down. I'm pretty sure that is 1 life or less. Let's just see what they've got. No shenanigans yet, huh? All right. Well, I love the chopper. I do think we need to keep the Uta. Do you have the rush category? What's your secret? Yellow is really not known for rush. It does have 7 cost an L, but people aren't as high on him, sadly. All right. Well, they had that special in hand. They're running a mix of Skype and Land of Wano, which is really interesting. And Big Mom. They probably don't run the Big Mom searchers in there, but that was interesting. I wish this was on attack and block, because I would leverage shit out of that, but we don't have that. So what we do have, though, is the ability to search up potentially that removal spell that I just got rid of. The Azure, wherever it is. This one. Azure Dragon Stomp Flowing Water. God, that name. So maybe we try to search it with Benefisto, because literally he ain't useful for anything else. Well, there it is. So we've got that. We have Shanks as well, but we can't actually play Shanks on this turn, even if we were to do the thing with her. Right? That's not quite good. Obviously, they're going to see what we put in our hand here, so that is a big tell. They just need to block with this character here instead, and then they would be fine. And we don't have a power reducer outside of our leader effect. We'll grab that anyways, because it's the right play. And hopefully they don't read over the name, because it's too damn long to read. But we can just swing vanilla, which would cause them to block here regardless. Oh, that's weird. All that matters is that we can withstand 2 attacks, which we're not going to be able to, unless we use Shanks to kill the Lin, which is really not the most attractive play. Let's do this though. So we'll do this. We want to get that Luffy out as well, if possible, and not with 2 Dawn, but we're past Luffy at this point. Scratch that. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. I'll use the card action. We're going to get rid of the guild. We'll power reduce that. Obviously, they should probably block. Oh, thank God. Yeah, we don't really care about the Kikunojo right now. Okay, so we'll do this. And then we'll swing sucks. We can go hard on the Lin and definitely get the Lin here, but is that a meaningful enough play? Because we have a 2k counter in hand, so we know we could take that vanilla if they were just to swing it. Man, maybe we just go hard on the Lin and cross our fingers for next turn. Because I don't have anything else to do with this Dawn, so it doesn't matter. Let it die. Depending on how they sequence, they could screw themselves up. So we'll see. If they have an ability to just tap this down or kill it, then, you know, they get there. No, they did not fuck up. So really this was the only play on their part, right? So they needed to just have enough power on board. My only hope is that they would not send enough my way. And because she only rests characters and not leaders... Oh wow, their hand is weird. Their hand is weird. Alright, so... Our dual searcher build. This is not the end of it. Let's get one more game in. I'm crossing my fingers on this next one. But RP Uta, hi, Adarsh, Adarsh. How are you? If you've played this Uta list, let me know. Not this Uta list, but a Uta list that's red purple. Let me know. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. But the deck itself is fine. I wish I was using the leader ability more, but we're not, and that's okay. Yeah, I'm a little iffy on this. We didn't really have the opportunity to leverage her ability to great effect last game, and that's okay. Hopefully this game will go better. Blocker, killer. Okay. We don't need to power reduce this killer, I don't think. We could honestly, against this list, like, they've got, you know, 3,000 worlds, I guess. They have some bottom deck effects they could be running, which would suck. But most of the KO effects, at least by way of green, require the thing to be tapped. So I don't feel so bad, like, just gunning for them here and then working them down, or playing the long game later. Yay? Nay? Oh, we get another killer. Cool. Oh. Into the Krieg. This is kind of a cool build. I wish I had a 2k counter in hand, because I hate having to commit the way I'm about to commit to this turn here. But no blocker. We're gonna do this and this, though. Krieg bounced it back to hand? What the fuck just happened? I have no idea. Oh. Alright, set up to one of your... You may return a 2... okay, cool. That's cool. I like that. That's a fun trick. Anyways, we should probably get this guild down. It probably would have been better to swing the Zoro first, by the way. I'm just trying not to think that hard. I'm contemplating not swinging the Zoro this turn is why I did it this way. But, okay, cool. Yeah, I think we just play the guild and then cross our fingers and let them swing at life, because I could really afford to take some damage here. Or just sugar me. Jesus Christ. Let me just start by saying, fuck that card. You saw me ditch 2 1Ks, and you're swinging a 7K at me. That's reasonable. I mean, doesn't it play a part of his effects? Can't you set them as active? Yeah, okay, cool. Fucking sugar. It's nice to see that this OP04 card is still played into OP06. You return it to hand. See, okay, now it makes sense. For this Zoro, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to just run sugar. She is way better when you're in Don Quixote Pirates, mind you, but it still makes sense that it's a very sensible card for this list. That's funny. I've never actually fought a Zoro Sanji deck ever, so that was kind of fun to see. Yeah, I will take I'll take the draw there, and I'll probably take another draw here. All right, and it's needless, but I appreciate that. Okay. So obviously the killer is there just to keep his shit straight. But we have a way to just get rid of the killer and work that body down. I think we probably start by, we want to get this guild off. We want to get the guild off, but we definitely want to have Dawn. I think we need to go 3 for Chopper, 3 for this effect to get rid of the killer, and then 1 on Uta to match the Krieg. I don't think we kill the Krieg this way, though, sadly, unless we use Uta's effect. I think we do use Uta's effect. The only issue is if you're looking in my hand, there isn't another film card in it. So that's why I'm taking so long. Oh my god. Or we could just use Rush Zoros up and down this turn. Obviously, if we swing into the Krieg, like the killer is going to be the issue here. I don't know. I guess we just go for it. Just go for it. I hate that Uta's effect is so useless. God. I'm serious. It feels so bad. I mean, I could just level reduce the Krieg. I could still do this. Like if I just use her effect to level reduce this and just swing a shit ton into it, that's not so bad. We'll still go 1 over. And then we'll use the card action to trash this shit. Depending on what they do, oh god, please go through your hands. This is amazing. Oh, cancel. Hold up. We need to play another card first. It's going to be this Tony Chopper. Okay. So we'll do this. Kobe. Great. We really burned through their hand here. Thank God. All right. That wasn't bad to see. I don't really want Chopper to die. What the fuck was that? 6 or less? What? People play this event? Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. No blocker. I can't believe I just saw Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. I mean, it worked, right? I'll take life here. Trigger playable. Let's go. Shanks. Let's go. I don't even have to think about that. I just want a big body. Yeah, okay, look. The guild was probably the better choice. And I don't even know if I'm going to get to 10 Dawn here, though we're close. But after that shit, I just had to do it. I really had to do it. I know they want to keep the Krieg around, so we'll just keep working the Krieg. I think it's kind of funny. I think we play the Kobe's, though, this turn. So maybe we do 2 Dawn and attack into this. God, that was funny, man. It's 1 attacking, right? Yeah, here. This one. Nice. All right, we'll swing this here. Use the card action? Hell no. No, we're never going to do that. Don't worry about that. Because they don't have a board, we could technically... There's the sugar. Get out of here with your sugar. We could Kobe and Zoro, right? Or we could double Kobe. I don't know what rushers green and blue have. Like, he could be on the 4-cost Usopp, but it's very doubtful, so I'm not too worried about it. We've got board over them, though, and if I get to play Shanks this game, I'm a happy boy. That's all I want to see. But so far as I can tell, it seems like this list just wants to keep their... They would want to keep their thing out that is feasibly 7k power, because you get to swing twice with it. So I felt like managing the Krieg was most important. The power play. All the sugars. You're going to return that shit to your hand. Let's go. Let's do it. Go for life, actually. I would love that. If you just went for my life right now. This Chopper, though. A+, dude. He's freaking great. That's a lot of Dawn coming at me. Okay. Yeah, it had to be going that way. We're fine with that. That's cool. Okay, so... What do we do here, folks? What do we do when we're pressured like this? Well, I think we just shanks this dude, and then we see what their 2-cost event is. Again, like, I wouldn't say that this was the right card. I think that guild was probably better. We would have grabbed... Oh, that's a lie. We had shit to grab with guild. Let's shanks. Yeah, we want to shanks because if this guy blocks, he gets 1k power. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. I mean, it's not like she could power reduce the leader. She's so shitty, my guys. She's so bad. Okay. Can't leave her. Just leave her like that. Do you have a trigger? Pass. What do you got for me? This is a weird list. As much as I'm crap. Do you have another sugar? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. As much as I'm like trash talking this, it is actually kind of fun to play. We needed to be able to block one of these. We've lost here, by the way, guys. Yeah, we've lost here with this because they're gonna untap it. So, you know, we'll do this and pretend like we have it, but we'll show our hand in a second. What is this? So I don't, again, I've never fought a Zoro Sanji list, but the fact that Gravity Blade Raging Tiger is used is very satisfying to see. Obviously, if they didn't get to keep a board, then it wouldn't be as problematic. A lot of the tier 1 lists you'll find have a lot of good 2-for-1s, and I mean a body that removes a thing. You'll notice that when we were building this list, unlike the recent Perona deck tech I did here on the channel, that list had a lot of really good KO potential. This list has zilch, except for this Shanks, which is really cute. 10 for 12, good stat line. Oh, sorry, dude, he won a rematch. Anyway, it was fine. Here, we can close it with that, though. As tempted as I am to do that, to run that back one more time, I'll save us all the trouble. It was okay. I don't think that this build was necessarily the right route to go. I think there are just stronger things you could be doing, especially with the fact that you can ramp hard in this list if you really wanted to. I think a strict film package with a handful of decent purple cards, right? In right now, I would say purple has the better cards than red, so far as, you know, lists like this are concerned. Red, green, Law, and Zoro are looking for different things when it comes to red. So there are obviously good cards for red still, don't get me wrong. But I think for this particular list, it probably would have been better to just stick with a film package and then have the 2 film searchers. Probably use that film 2k counter. We took a lot more damage than we had to take, sadly, both those games. And I think that was because, I mean, like our last game, we ended on 3 cards that had no K counter, which is kind of insane because we don't run that many of those. So the fact that those were all that was left in our hand, it was just the RNG of this particular set of games, right? That's not indicative of every game. I think if you're going to do this triple searcher build, right, because realistically that's what it is with Nami, Luffy, and Buena Fiesta, it's okay. I like that we could double search that removal effect, and I think it's mostly good as just a thing that you can discard with Uta. But because of the nature of the build, like there were situations where I brought up, like we didn't have enough film cards to really leverage her in a meaningful way. So it felt just okay. Guys, if you have your own version of this build though, like if you didn't attend the live and are watching this as a VOD, please link it in the comments. And by link, I mean just copy and paste it if you're over on OPTCG Sim. I think our version was fine. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was like, it was fun to test out this style of build. If you think that there's a route we should have taken it that was outside of what I did, please let me know. I will say though, Tony Chopper was VIP. He was actually really good. I'm kind of excited for that to come out. And that might even be a potential RP Law card? Why not? He seems really good. At any rate, expect more pre-recorded deck techs for you guys soon of the list I play. I have a really mean Sakazuki list that I just won. Oh, wait, oh, sorry. That I just won a recent event with. And I got the card to prove it. This is my first win. So I haven't been out to too many events recently because, to be honest, I don't really like the OP05 meta. But I did go out to one. Shout out to Giant Gaming in Virginia. If you guys are watching, I went to one event in Virginia and I won with, it was the first time I played that Sakazuki list, my Sakazuki list in paper for OP05. God, so fun. There's a lot of lists that I do play that are actively good, and Sakazuki's one of them. So hang tight for my OP06 version of that list and an OP06 version of RP Law. Namely, when we get EBO1, that deck gets lifted to the heights of godhood as soon as EBO1 comes, because that freaking killer and kid combo is so damn good. But guys, hope you enjoyed this deck tech, this live brewing session, this deck profile, will you? You'll see me next Wednesday, potentially. If you like Magic the Gathering content, you'll see me Thursday or Friday. And if you like sorcery content, potentially Saturday. I'll see you in the next one, gang.